Hello, my name is Santosh. I'm into SAP
Yeah.
for the last 9 years. Okay,
Oh,
and I have a
yes, sir.
domain experience around 8 years. And
Mm.
in my domain, I have worked as a project manager, assistant project manager. Then I
Okay.
shifted into core SAP. Okay, and throughout that
Yeah.
period, I was working as a project manager, and so my educational background is B mechanical with okay with an MBA.
Okay.
I'm certified for PMP, ITIL, and SAP project systems.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So very nice. It's
I've
a great
been,
association with
yeah,
you, sir.
yeah, and
Yeah, tell
also
me.
I have completed 8 end-to-end implementations, 4 rollouts, and number of support projects. I started as a
Okay.
consultant after moving from my domain into the SAP area, and then again
Okay.
now I'm working as a project lead as well as for some assignments I'm working as a project manager. Okay, so these are some
Okay.
of my yeah small points. So Venu, I'd like to know what is that you are trying to achieve, what is your background, so that we guide you properly, you know. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
and
sure,
it
sir.
should be fruitful.
And sir, yes, sir, coming to myself, actually, I did my BTech in civil engineering.
Okay, makes sense. Okay,
Uh, BTech in civil engineering. Currently, I'm working as a site engineer.
okay,
And of course, I don't have enough satisfaction regarding my job because I'm not in the right company. Of course,
hmm,
even though I'm trying for the better company now. At the
okay.
same time, I need some better qualification as compared to the somebody. Of course, as a core batch student, you also did the mechanical engineering in BTech. Most of
Correct.
our students from mechanical and civil, no one should go for the this type of courses like SAP and all this.
Why?
From the last, no one, most of the students doesn't show any interest in the SAP, particularly in my
See,
civil
what
department.
happens is, we know. There are two
Yes,
things.
sir.
One is when you're a fresher, SAP will not help you. Okay,
Okay.
but when you put some
Yeah.
experience, what happens is you know the industry. When we talk with that language, then SAP helps you. Say for
Okay.
example, if you're applying for a job, now you say you have got experience in SAP project systems. And the company
Hmm.
already, most of the companies, big organization, Fortune 500 companies, all the MNCs have SAP PS.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens is now
Oh.
they that's how when I started from a domain, I learned SAP PS, and they had a project system in their environment, and that's how they took me, you know, apart from my
Hmm.
role. So there were around 3-4 candidates accordingly, but then when they saw that my profile was good at SAP as well, okay,
Hmm.
at that time I just completed
Okay.
my training, so that gives me
Okay.
advantage over my other counterparts. So
Okay.
when I'm talking of projects majorly consists of, if it's the major focus areas will be civil, mechanical, electrical, and then the IT.
Hmm.
So basically projects is a relative term which can be applied to any domain or any technology, right?
Hmm.
So you are a project
Okay.
person, Avenu, I believe, right?
Yes.
You're working as a site engineer, but what you're doing
Yeah.
is only the execution part. But what are the
Yeah.
other parts
Execution
which
part.
are there? Yeah, so when I jumped into SAP, I was also limited. I wasn't to execution. I worked
Hmm.
from planning to execution. Okay,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
in one of the companies which I was doing, I was working for a distillery. I was using
Hmm.
setting up fermentation plants.
Hello.
Then I was also into milk and dairy farms.
Hello.
So yeah, Venu, can you hear me? You can
Hmm.
hear me, right?
Yes, sir, I'm hearing you.
So
Yeah, right, sir.
yeah, so over a
Tell
period of time, then I was able to make a shift. So that's how you should also program for
Okay.
it. What's your total experience, Venu?
Actually, I had a 1.5 year experience, sir.
1.5 years is
One and a half.
sufficient enough. Don't jump. Success is not just going to come like that, Venu. But what you have done is a good thing that you are
Hmm.
trying to understand SAP. Okay. See what happens
Hmm.
is, what do you
Okay.
gain when you work in a particular area? You know only your part. What is the execution part? As a site engineer, you know you have seen sites.
Yeah.
You're building up. You're talking with
Hmm.
the vendors, 2-3 vendors, contractors, and you're handling them as
Yeah.
a shadow concern.
Yeah.
There will be
Yeah.
some seniors along with you, and you are doing it in the site. Now that is what you are
Yeah.
trying to do. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you're doing some small reporting, and
Yeah.
you're reading the drawings. You're reading, doing something. So first you have a
That's
plan, then
all.
you have a project plan. You're monitoring, tracking, and doing some reporting
Yeah.
within
Yes,
your
sir.
area. But
Yeah.
SAP will give you an overview is like how things work out in the SAP area. SAP probably you are aware of the SAP systems. What is SAP and all?
Hmm. Sir, I don't have that much of awareness. regarding this.
Okay, Venu. Then
First,
probably there are two approaches. What we do is, Venu, some people have an idea, they have interact with the SAP, so we don't talk on that. Now, if you don't,
yeah.
if you are totally a fresher, I'll give you an idea of what SAP is all about. But now
Sir,
I
actually,
consider you not as a fresher. Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, I would like to share something with you, sir. And one more thing, actually, in the part of SAP for the civil engineering student, there are some modules are there like the quantity surveying and the planning and all this. Actually, I was tried for that the primarily, and I didn't get those type of courses anywhere in Hyderabad.
What is that courses you're trying?
Planning and quantity surveying like this.
Quantity surveying. What is quantity surveying?
And just like the estimations and
No, no. See, what happens is, what do you do in quantity surveying? Can you tell me? Venu, what do you do in quality surveying?
so nothing but the estimations, sir. Nothing but the
Correct. So
estimations
estimation.
of the materials.
Perfect. Very nice, Venu. You're right. After getting the estimation, what do you do?
And go for, go for executing only, as per the requirements,
Perfect. Very
we'll
nice.
go to the order the
Executing. Correct.
material.
Correct. So you use the word execution. Very nice. Agreed. Now you had planned date certain things. You had planned that surveying should complete like this, and actual construction after that it should start. So you're doing all the necessary execution parts. So how do you plan? So how many tasks you have? Right. So you have certain
Uh,
tasks. You have got
yeah,
certain relationships between those tasks. Certain tasks you can do it
yeah,
only after completion of certain tasks. So there are relationships among these tasks. So that's what.
yeah,
So if you see there are, now what happens as a fresher, probably you need to, not actually a fresher, now you're 1.5 year senior person.
yeah.
So the complete perspective, so there is a business, right? After doing
Mm,
this, they are deriving certain benefits, the company, and that's how they are paying us, right? But
yeah,
of the total work, we are doing a small part of it. That's only
yeah,
the site engineer work. Okay.
yeah.
Over a period of time,
Yes,
we
sir.
need to understand the complete business cycle, and then that's how
Yeah.
you will rise in the organization, and you will
Mm,
progress. How do you progress? Now from site engineer to site engineer, what we are going to do? Because there will be lot many areas. So once you learn SAP, how it helps is, one is in a current domain, and second is, suppose if you're going for a SAP related company, the doors open
mm,
there.
yeah.
Otherwise in civil engineering, are we having any opportunity to go into the software side? Do you have any
No, sir.
opportunity? Yeah.
Actually, no, I
Second,
don't have any opportunity.
yes, I know. Why I'm telling you is, projects is very dear to me. Then that's how
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, now
Mm,
SAP is one of the ERP softwares, okay? And what
yes,
happens
sir.
is why ERP is used. I'll just take you. I'll just give you. I'm sharing the screen. For
Yes,
you
sir.
particularly, I'll just try to explain you a small thing
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
So when I talk about
Yeah.
SAP, what SAP stands for? It stands for System Application and Production Data Processing. Small thing. System
Okay.
Application
System application
and Products in Data Processing.
in data
Now when I
processing.
say
Okay.
projects, whatever you say execution, what is the end of the day? What do you give to the management? What do you write down? Is data, isn't it?
Yes,
Data
sir.
can be in
Complete
different
data.
format.
Yeah.
So data is like whatever you prepared a plan, then you made
Mm,
whatever you recorded, whatever you executed, you again write down. So you're making a plan in different areas. So that is
yes.
all data. So data
Yeah.
processing. So you're processing the data at different levels and different phases. So system
Mm,
application products and databases processing. This is SAP.
okay.
Right? What is the current version of
Okay.
SAP? Okay.
So
What is SAP basically? SAP is a part of, if you see, it is a subset of ERP. What
yes,
is
sir.
ERP?
Yeah.
ERP is known as Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise
Okay.
means what? Enterprise is a factory. It can
Yeah.
be distribution center.
This is the
Basically,
production
enterprise
also.
means where there is a company. Enterprise means where a group of people come for a common objective,
Yeah.
where they
Nothing but the
manufacture or
distribution.
produce service. Yeah, absolutely correct.
Yes.
So enterprise, then it stands for resource. What is resource?
Mm,
Resource means man, machine, material, logically.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
resource and planning. Planning of all these three resources for a company, that is ERP. Now,
Okay.
before the softwares were there, still the planning constructions used to happen, right? Okay.
Mm,
But what happened is they were localized. There were no MNCs. Previously,
Okay.
say around 60 years back, still projects used to happen. Big projects they used to do. So, but then software was not there, right? That was being done manually. Now, as and when the software era has started, so software has come into picture. So how software is now mapping this for the projects. So that's how we have come with the term known as ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. And if we consider that as a software tool, then ERP as a software tool, you'll have so many other applications. So what are the ERP tools that we have in the market? You've got SAP, you've got something for Oracle also.
Yeah.
So SAP
I
is
think
not
Tally
there.
also.
Tally is small
ERP
for
Tally
FIC only, basically only for finance.
only
Okay.
for finance.
Yeah, I'll explain it to you. You'll get a little bit of clarity what we are trying to do, what are the modules in SAP, and how do we go about it, where do we stand, what is the area in SAP that we are going to associate it with, what is the correct thing. These are all questions which everybody starts with, okay? Don't worry, I'll try to do my maximum justice to it and you will feel quite confident, okay? Oracle, then you have got something known as JD Edwards. This was again taken by Oracle. Then you had something for PeopleSoft. So these are
Okay.
all, and now you have got Microsoft Dynamics or AX.
Okay.
Even Microsoft has a ERP which it has started. Microsoft, okay, Microsoft Dynamics. So these are all the things, but SAP is the king here because it has got the maximum market share. It was almost around 35 years that SAP is around and is evolved over a period of time.
Yeah.
So so when we say SAP, now what SAP is doing is it is mapping the business process for the organization. So in the organization, what do you have? You have in the organization, if you're in the company, then what you see is different departments. What are the different departments you see? You have something for, let's name one, finance.
Yeah,
Finance
finance
department,
administration. Yes, finance
then
administration,
administration, then what do you have?
and like this HR department and one human
Perfect,
resource
very good.
department.
HR, then what do you have? Maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance.
Now based on the nature of the industry, suppose you're into only construction industry,
Yeah.
where, so again maintenance will be there. Fifth, what do you have?
And
Production.
engineering department. Yeah, production. Yeah,
Then
it's
sixth will be
depending on
quality department,
its
right?
qualities. Yeah, right.
Then
Quality.
whatever you do, you need to be selling it. So you have a sales department,
Yeah, sales department and that's marketing.
correct? Now, whenever
Yes.
you're doing the projects, you're going to set up certain projects, right? Suppose if the
Yeah.
manufacturing companies are like Tata Steel, they want to set up a new plant. So basically it's a
Yeah.
project, or they want to
Yeah.
extend the IT infrastructure, new project. Or say for example, L&T Infra. L&T Infra itself
Yeah.
is a project company. They are
Yeah.
setting up new projects. So they are deriving revenue.
Yeah.
So what do you have? The projects department. So now what you see is these are all the different departments. Basically what they are doing, they are trying to accomplish certain processes in the company, correct? Finance is doing
Yeah, right.
something, administration is doing something. Now what happens is everything needs to be integrated.
Yeah.
Now when I'm saying something, one more important part is everybody needs material. So you've got, when you
Yeah,
procure
material
material,
management.
somebody has to procure
Yeah,
the material,
procurement.
store the material.
Procurement.
Yes. So that is known as,
Procurement.
basically what you call it as, there are two departments. One is
Yeah.
procure and then you have to store. So that is known as
Yeah.
inventory management.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you'll have stores, warehouses, you've got stores manager, warehouse manager, right?
It's
They are form a
everything,
part of procure and inventory
just like a
basically.
material management, like.
Perfect, right. So now let's map this in SAP. So SAP says, okay, for all this, we have got a solution. So what is those solutions?
Okay.
They are given in the form of modules. Make sense?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's put the solutions here. So finance will have FICO. Administration will have,
Yep.
again, basically what happens is this is the core of administration. So what it does is basic procurement functions and all, right? So administration will be
Okay.
taken care in either HR or maintenance itself or procurement. So it's a sub function.
Okay.
Administration itself
Yeah.
is just management, right? So they all have reporting
Okay.
workflows, all the things. HR, what do you have? HCM. Maintenance, you have got
Yeah.
SAP plant maintenance. Production, you have got PP.
Plant
Quality, you have got
production.
QM, quality
Basic.
management. Sales, you'll have
Yeah.
SD.
Okay.
and projects will have project systems. Now where do we fit in? Now it will be clear to you. So MM,
Yeah.
right?
Material
We are
management.
talking about, yeah, that is material management. MM means material management.
Okay. Yeah.
So now where do we fit in? We fit in projects.
Project systems.
Okay. So now let's drill
Okay.
down to project systems. Now we'll talk about project systems, right?
Mm.
So now what happens? Now we understood the different modules, right? So these are the
Mm.
departments and these are the modules. So we understood it's like,
Okay.
so these are the SAP solutions. Now let's talk about the next question. Okay, what happens after this? How it is going to benefit us? So what is the benefit that
Mm.
we are going to get first? See, there are two things. With the knowledge of SAP in the relevant area, you benefit
Mm.
in your existing organization. Okay, you benefit. How do
Mm.
you benefit? In the current role, first.
Okay.
Second is you can, as the system provides an opportunity, you can make a shift to the software industry with regards to ERP.
Okay. Okay.
So there is a shift. That's how now I'm into a software company, and now I'm a project manager in
Mm.
a software company.
Oh, very nice.
Okay. No, what I'm
Okay.
saying is otherwise, if you think how can a mechanical engineer software, impossible, right? Because
Yeah.
logically, until unless I'm into analytics or basically I'm into stress analysis or CAD development or something, that field is
Mm. Yeah.
different. Product development basically. So now
Yeah.
I'm into core software, which is part of SAP.
Indeed.
So
Yeah.
this is how it is going to benefit you. Okay. Now what are the roles that we
Mm.
play after learning, having the knowledge? So there are two things. If it is in the current role, then what we are going to do is we are going to either be an SAP user. We're going to
Mm.
be a SAP user, okay,
Okay.
or a core team member.
Okay.
I mean, suppose if SAP is there in that company, then you'll be one of the
Mm.
persons who will be able to handle and work on SAP. You don't need a
Okay.
training because already taken it.
Okay.
Suppose if SAP is being implemented, you are using some other software like MS Project and Primavera,
Mm.
then now
Mm.
SAP management has decided, okay, in your company that we are going
Mm.
to go for SAP PS. Then you become
Okay.
they may appoint you as a core team member who is going to coordinate
Okay.
amongst the project departments, and you're going to give the
Mm.
information to the SAP implementation team. So it's a core team.
Okay.
Then if you're going to core consulting, then what do you get in the software? If you are in the software industry, or you get in the consulting role, okay. So if you
Mm.
just go into the consulting role, what happens is you can become a functional consultant,
Okay.
okay. Now functional consultant can be at two levels. What is again that? How functional consultant can work along with the implementation partner.
Mm.
When I'm saying implementation partner means like Capgemini, Infosys, Cognizant, whatever. Okay, example.
Okay.
Okay, so they are all
Okay.
having SAP and they are rigorously focusing on this. So a
Okay.
lot many are there. Okay, all the top software companies are TCS. Everybody is in SAP.
Mm.
Now the second is if you are playing a consultant role. Second is the
Mm.
companies itself, the big organizations like Tata Steel, all the companies where SAP is there, they need in-house team.
Okay.
Means they themselves are employed like within the company. Say for example, I'm
Okay.
with probably I'm working with Hindustan Copper. SAP is there, so I'm
Okay.
a part of. I'm a functional consultant, in-house functional consultant. So
Okay.
so I'll become an in-house functional consultant for the module of project
Okay.
systems. You got that?
Okay. Got.
Now, so this is what it becomes like. Either you can play multiple roles. So how SAP is going to benefit is we are going to get an understanding of the complete business
Mm.
process, which otherwise is not possible for us to know. Nobody is going to tell you how the
Okay. Got.
planning is going to happen, what level of softwares that we use at this point, or what are the reports that are generated, how we are supposed to, what is the part that we are playing. We may have a slight idea, but how the total integration is taking place, how finances are achieved, how the profit is booked, how the revenues are generated. These terms are relatively new for you at this level.
Okay. Okay.
So when I'm saying asset, what do you mean by asset? Can you tell me?
Hello.
Yeah, Venu, when I say asset, so what comes up to your mind?
SAP.
No, no, I'm
Hello.
saying asset.
Asset.
I'm saying is asset. In projects, we have something known as asset. So what do you mean by
Yeah.
asset?
Like anything. Any.
Ah, okay, no problem, Venu. See, I don't expect. What I'm trying to tell you is, trying to show you the big picture. Okay, I'm trying to
Okay.
tell you is like where we fit in. What is the knowledge pieces that we need to put together? Okay,
Okay.
I've been training people with 15 years, 20 years experience, and what they know is only a small part of that area. If the person is from the
Okay.
planning function, he knows only how to use Primavera and projects. He does not know anything on the execution part, actual execution.
Okay. Of
So
course, sir,
what I'm
I'm
trying to,
also not a. Of course, I'm not a. Even I don't have the perfect experience in the site engineering.
and it's okay. Everybody learns. You are hardly 1.5 years. Don't worry. Okay,
Okay.
have patience. No problem.
Okay.
But you need to keep learning. If you feel like at
Okay.
any point that you have learned too much, then that's a big mistake. The world is so big. Keep your eyes open. You'll
Mm.
learn a lot.
Okay. Okay. Excellent.
Okay, so this is the roles that we have. And now what next we are going to do is we're going to talk on, so these are all known as the functional modules. What is this known as? Functional modules. Okay.
Yes, functional modules.
So we are interested in the functional modules. There are something known as technical modules, which are known as ABAP.
Okay.
Basically, when you talk about technical, means that we are talking about ABAP, ABAP, WebDin
Okay.
Pro. These are all the um, technical languages.
Okay.
So there is some amount of coding and all those things, right?
Okay.
We are not doing coding, and there is something known as basis, which is going to do monitoring, SAP patches and all. So basically, you have
Okay.
all this. Okay, got this?
Yes, sir, got this. Today I got the clear information regarding which is the function modules and which is this technical and
Good. Very good. I'm glad. Venu. Venu, now with this understanding, we now move forward and go to the presentation, which will tell us quickly
yes, sir.
in our offshore is like where we stand. What is that SAP is trying to do? SAP is not trying to do something unique. It is only trying
Yeah.
to simplify what we are doing already. Okay.
Mm.
So
Okay.
before mobile phones came, it's not that we were not talking, when work was not happening, right? But now
Yeah.
mobile
Right.
phones have become mandatory. So that's the simple logic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and see that now. So I'll switch over to the presentation.
Yeah.
So we have, okay. So here when I say planning, so let's start with project
Mm.
system as planning. So when you created a plan, whatever work you do, you have a plan, when
Mm.
to start, which people are necessary, what are the tools that are necessary, what
Yeah.
are the permissions
Which you.
required.
Yeah.
So these are known as planning functions. So in projects, there is a
Yeah.
terminology known as work
Mm.
breakdown structure.
Take this.
Okay. So this is a very common term for project people, but I understand most because
Mm.
will be new for you. But as a project,
Yes,
no.
sir.
So 1.5 years, I don't expect you to understand. But suppose you would have said me 4 years, and if you would have not given me the answer, then probably
Yeah.
that was not good. That's okay.
Realize, sir, I didn't listen this word till today. No, what
Hey,
breaking
no
down.
problem, no problem. I'm happy at least. Fine. So here we say, now what happens is every project. So it's basically what is a project? It's a group of tasks or
Yeah.
activities.
Yeah.
Say a small project may have 50 tasks. A big project may have
Yeah.
1,000 tasks. A much bigger
Yeah.
may have different tasks. And all these tasks which are grouped together, common tasks. Say for example, when I'm trying to construct a building. So what are the
Yeah.
different aspects of a building? You've got civil work. You've got something to do
Yeah.
with the electrical work. You have to do something
Yeah.
with the
Okay.
mechanical work for piping and all those
Mechanic.
things. Yeah.
Everything.
And something you have got
Yeah.
for legal. And then you have got
Yeah.
financial. So now if I group and club the activities which are similar, civil activities and civil, that particular heading, then
Okay.
that becomes a work breakdown. And there will be certain
Okay.
tasks below it.
Okay.
Now, can I start excavation without taking a permission, without doing a layout,
No.
without doing a marking? I cannot.
Yeah. No, that's
right?
not
So
possible.
first, so there are certain steps which we need to do. So there is a relationship between the steps. So those
Yeah.
relationships are something known as earliest start, earliest finish,
Yeah.
latest finish. Hopefully you would
Mm.
have heard about critical path management.
Yeah.
Critical path method, you know, CPM.
Yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
the,
CPM.
yeah.
I listened in
So
the my BTech final year management part.
no problem. That's what I'm
This is
saying.
only. This is the
So
only. This is the only thing I listen here. Part
good,
method.
very nice. It's interesting actually. If you're interested now, the point is, uh, it's okay. Anyway, so I'll put everything in front of you. Pick up whatever you feel like, right? So planning for the material requirement in the project. Material
Yeah.
requirement in the project. Now, whatever we do in the project, sometimes if it can be a simple consulting project, you may need a service.
Mm.
But in
Yeah.
construction, say for example, there's a project which there is a construction of a complete residential complex, or it's a construction of it's a prototype development of a rocket engine, right?
Mm.
Or it is a launch of satellites into the space. ISRO is also
Mm.
doing projects, or it
Yeah.
is development of a particular product A by a pharma company.
Mm.
Okay, so these are all projects. So they need a plan. They have activities. There are relationships. There will be certain methods which needs to be done first. Otherwise, there will be a delay. So you
Mm.
have got material requirement planning. You need to plan the cost. So all these are
Mm.
functions of the planning department.
Mm.
Then what happens once the planning is done? What we do? We need certain resources. We need to have a budget. We cannot just keep
Yeah.
on going, right? So when we decide, okay, we have to construct a building, we need to allocate certain resources. We have to
Mm.
streamline certain finances. We have to have
Mm.
a budget. So that is budget.
Okay.
So SAP provides this function as a budget. So if the company is deriving a particular project, say if they are running say 10 projects, okay, then each one has to have a budget. Why budget is
Okay.
required? Say for example, they are going to suppose each project is of 1 year old, of 1 year
Yeah.
duration. Then they may require money at several intervals.
Yeah.
What
We
happens
have to
is,
take the.
yeah, correct. The company has to, the finance department has to allocate resources. Initially,
Yeah.
they have to invest. Then they
Yeah.
may get returns. So they have to have loans. They have to take care of the financial requirements. So that is the reason the budgeting is allocated. Okay. Suppose if 3 projects start at the same time and everybody wants money, how the company is going to
Yeah.
get? They have to then go and
Yeah.
take it from the banks. They have to take a loan. They have to do lot many financial structuring.
Yeah.
So whatever is the function, budget is important. Also, one more
Yeah.
aspect is the company. If the
Mm.
company, there are different types of projects. There are basically two segregations. One is internal, one is external.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
When we say internal,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that is internal is for the internal consumption of the company. So if I'm say
Mm.
Tata Motors and I am setting
Mm.
up a new plant for
Yeah.
manufacturing of new cars. So that is internal project. So that
Mm.
becomes an asset to the company.
Mm.
Okay. Now consider that I am, in construction company as Hindustan Constructions or
Yes,
L&T
sir.
Constructions. Okay.
Hindustan
So these
construction
are
limited, I know.
construction companies. Okay, great.
Mm.
So there is you're in which company?
I mean, sir, I think I'm in the hotels now, so it's a group of hotels. Averina International Resorts.
Okay, great. Fine. So you're into construction as well, right? So you're doing the planning
Of course.
functions, doing the project functions. It can have
Yeah.
maintenance functions, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So
These
they
things
are
only.
giving you a budget. After giving the plan to them, then you give the budget.
Mm.
And the management is saying, this is the budget. Okay, fine. You go ahead.
Mm.
But this is the budget. You have to complete this.
Yeah.
Okay. So budget
Yes.
is something to put a limit. Beyond that, the
Yeah.
management should understand the costs are escalating.
Okay.
Okay? Otherwise, it will be
Right.
a huge loss to the company.
Yeah.
So that is the reason.
Right.
But in budgeting functions, what do you have? You have some options like you need to give budget. Suppose for any genuine reason, there is an increase in the
Mm.
budget. Then we
Mm.
have a function to increase the
Mm.
budget. We can,
Mm.
if there is a shortage of the budget, we can accommodate that budget. Suppose from one project, we want to transfer the budget to the other project. So how it is done? Now projects can happen for a number of years. Okay.
Mm.
So if the budget is not utilized in first year, then it can be transferred to the next year. So there are
Mm.
different budgeting functions, which is mapped in SAP.
Mm.
Then you've got execution process. Execution means when after planning, after the budgeting, now you have started the work actually. Now you're going, you're procuring, asking the vendors to supply the material. How you're doing it? Now you're giving a purchase order, you are sending the requests, they're giving you the quotations, comparing the quotations,
Yeah.
right? Bidding, all the processes which has now actually started, and now you're getting material. Now the people in the site, they have started working, they have been mobilized, they have started the work, construction is going on. So this is execution phase, right? So you will have execution, automatic generation of purchase requisition for material and service. Suppose if you want labor service apart from the material, so that is services will be converted under external services. And during all times budget will be cross-checked. Okay, so you know that okay, this was the allocated budget, you have utilized this much. Okay, and this
Yes.
is what is remaining. So all those things, and you will be confirming, and management needs to know it's a 1-year project. Okay, where do we stand as of now? Because they've got a strategy.
Yeah.
See, for example, uh, what happened is, you know this Tata Nano plant, right?
Ah.
Tata Nano plant was first supposed to come in Singur, Bengal, East Bengal.
Yeah.
They had
East Bengal.
procured land, they had started construction. There
Okay.
was a project plan, but the government, because of the problems, the project got delayed. It was very important for the company. That's the reason the Nano project almost got failed.
Oh.
So
Okay.
projects are of very strategic importance because of the
Yeah.
time and the duration, and management needs to know, okay, the company has a plan, and if this facility is not possible, then how they're going to sell the cars. So it's
True.
very important. So there are two terms, one is project, one is production. Project is something where it is unclear. It's nobody can say okay, this much time it is going to take, like building up a new
Yeah.
prototype, building up a new plant, because it's not a recurring activity. But when you say production, when the first car is built, that is a prototype, but when you
Yeah.
build similar cars, that becomes production. You got the difference? Project
Yes, sir, I got
and
it.
production. So whatever the works that we do, activities that needs to be confirmed, so these all activities are then confirmed in the project system. That is a part of execution. Then we have got something known as integration with asset management. So SAP
Yeah.
has processes which needs to build up assets. So if you are building up a resort, new resort to the company has got a profit and loss statement and asset and liability statement. You know that every company, private or public, needs to give information to the government, statutory
Yeah.
requirement. You are aware of that?
Okay.
So what does that mean? So suppose your company now has developed another resort. So it is going to generate some profit, right, or loss,
Yeah.
whatever is there. It has to inform the government accordingly
Yeah, sure.
because it has to pay
Definitely.
certain taxes.
Yeah.
So that's how assets and everything the data needs to be managed. So these are all the functions which are saying as asset under construction. Once the asset is constructed, then it will become a final asset. Then you do capitalization and depreciation.
Okay.
Now what I said is initially there are two types of projects. One is internal, one is external. Internal projects are which are done for the company, and external is something which you do it for other company and we generate revenue. There are two terms. There are two terms. Okay, one is expense. Expense means if I am doing a particular project, I need to spend money, I need to get material, I
Yeah.
need to have
Investment.
so that is investment. That is basically investment is, yes, that is an expense. Okay, and after expense what happens when the project is done at several phases? They are going to pay us back, the company L&T.
Yeah.
When say for example we both are working for L&T, now we are working for a road project for a particular
Yeah.
Bombay Municipal Corporation. Now BMC has to pay to us, so that is known as revenue for us. That is a profit. So that is known as customer projects. Okay, got it? Right?
Got it.
So that's the difference. So
Yes.
basically there are different functions in, again, customer projects. What is integration with project systems and sales and distribution? You have got something known as milestone billing, right? There are different billings which will happen at milestone level. First during planning, first you give me design
No.
drawings, then actually when the material goes to site,
Yeah.
give me the second payment. Third payment is when first level of construction is done. Fourth payment is when
Yeah.
all things are completed and quality check is pending. So there are different levels, milestone related. Then there is some concept known as assembly processing concept and resource related billing. Certain times what happens is some companies say, okay, you send me your resources, let them work and I'll pay it accordingly. Resources mean can be just man, machine. Say for example, rental cranes you have been given and you're paying for that. So that can be resource related billing. So there are different billing concepts. So these are related to sales and distribution. Now we have got project systems when we say integration material management. Okay. Now for projects, what do we need? We need material, we need services. Now when we need material, we need to store, right? So when you have big projects, so many materials are there. So that needs to be identified. And there are, suppose if there are 5-6 projects which are running together, then it becomes very important and critical to identify which material is bought for which project and where it has to be. They need to have a transparency, otherwise what will happen? The same material they will be procuring again and again at double the price. Then what will happen? It's wastage for the company and it's total loss. Material will not be available at the right time and at the right place. That will be huge loss. And that's the reason companies go for SAP. You know, SAP is not cheap. SAP is very costly software. And SAP consultants are paid heavily. Why? Why the company wants to make such investment? That is the reason. Because what happens
I knew this
is,
last 6 months back. Very costly.
Yeah, correct.
I
The
knew this.
reason is, yeah, go ahead. See, because I started
You
thinking
carry
on
it.
that same line. I said is like in India engineers are cheap, right? So why not put many engineers and things will work out? But that was not the case. Okay, beyond a certain limit, uh, it is very difficult to calculate everything manually.
Yeah.
So that needs to be calculated automatically and system has to take care of it. That's how it is. Say for example, if you're building up a engine, okay, engine has got assemblies and those assemblies have got sub-assemblies. You understood? So, and those assemblies will be having say 1 lakh parts, 1 lakh parts. Now, if you want to plan 1 lakh parts, now you just imagine how it is going to be. Okay, and there will be thousands of vendors. Each vendor is unique. Now you need to compare, you need to send the requirements as and when the requirements come. So it's a big exercise. Again, say for example, it's a simple thing actually. Now if I say, okay, you go and just book a car for today for one person, you will be happy. Now I say book a car for 100 people. Now you have to start doing calculation, 4 people here, which car, when, where. One vendor has got only one car, other vendors. Now see the complication. Now if I say 1,000 cars, book 1,000 cars. Now what happens? See the complication. Now if I am saying 1 lakh cars, can a person do? Group of 10 people also do. Now it becomes tough, jugglery. So now if your company has become MNC, now can you manage now? So now it has become big. So you need something more. So that's how SAP is into picture. So concept of special stock, exclusive stock, you have got budget control at different levels, purchase level, purchase requisition level, purchase order level, goods received and goods issue level. Costing of the project which we are going to do, when we do planning, so we're going to come at accurate cost of the project, which will be. Then you got something for period end closing. Period end closing is when you're going to complete the project, then either if it is for internal purpose, it is going to create an asset. If it is for external purpose, when you're going to sell it, you're going to generate revenue. And then whatever is that particular reporting will be done. See, over a period of time, in your project, what do? You have either weekly status or monthly status or complete project statuses. So you need doing a monitoring and tracking. You have been given certain plan dates, but actually the dates may be different, right? For any delay. So that is known as project Gantt chart. Commitments will be at the PRPO level. You have got the budget plan versus actual reports that we'll see. You will see what are the requisitions that have been issued against the project. What are the purchase orders that are in process? What are the pending GRs? How much material has been received? And what is the assets that have been created? So these all are part of the reporting system in SAP. This we'll be able to see it. Okay. Now this is a small exercise. If you see for building of a project, say for example a residential complex or a resort, you got some activities. This is the first level WBS, civil, electrical, mechanical instrumentation. And then within civil you'll have So many things. Again, a WBS,
Yeah.
cement, steel, services. Electrical
Yeah.
have MCC, PCC and cables. Mechanical.
Yeah.
So likewise, you have got different levels of WBS elements, and each WBS
Right.
element will have certain activities. See, and this is the relationship: finish to start, start to start, finish to finish, and start to finish. So in SAP, the screen will look like this.
Yeah.
So you see that below, change network
Yes, sir.
activity
Without.
based.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is how it is going
Yeah.
to be mapped in SAP.
Okay.
Now, when we do programming, there can be projects at different levels. So when you talk about investment, there are two sub-modules. One is IM and PS. There's integration
Mm.
between investment management and project systems.
Mm.
So project-wise investments can be maintained at different levels and budgets can be distributed. So that's how it's being shown. So number of projects can be run. And then a group of projects can be given a budget. Then you have got something known as a Gantt chart, what we discussed, the progress. You can see this, reactors,
Yes, sir.
designing, procurement, and these are the activities. And whatever is there in the red, it will come, which is not here. That will be the CPM, critical path method. This is the SAP
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
So these are the small things that we need to understand. Do you
Mm.
have any questions, particular questions?
Yeah, sir. I don't know one thing. Just now you told me about the critical path method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think SAP also should like this only, just like a critical path method and the individual path method which we have in the
Yes,
management part,
yes, 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 yes,
like that only.
yes. See, what happens
Okay.
is, whatever we understand, it is based on certain
Mm.
practices, which has been
Okay.
authenticated and agreed on by certain institutions also. Okay. So that's the part. Okay. So what are the project system tools we have? What are the software tools that we have presently for projects? You've got MS Project and
Yeah, MS
Primavera,
project and Primavera. Yeah.
correct?
Yes,
For
sir.
big projects, it is Primavera. Project systems is
Yeah.
for MS Project is for mid-sized projects where you can track. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
So the same concept is applied in SAP, but in MS Project, you don't know what is the stock in the materials. If you're planning for the project, you don't know what will be the cost, what will be impact.
Mm.
But when you do
Yeah.
it with project systems in SAP, you're able to go and check the stock of the material at that particular
Mm.
place, when the material is going to
Okay.
come. So everything is there in one place.
Mm.
You got that?
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that's the
got it, sir.
difference there. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
difference. So SAP project system is integrated with all modules in the SAP environment, while
Okay.
Primavera and project systems are isolated. They'll give you only the front end where projects can do a project tool, a plan, but after that
Mm.
execution cannot be tracked. They have to do it manually.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Okay.
So yeah.
And even the recently also I spoke with my one of my friend. He's
Yeah.
working somewhere. I think he's in the Karnataka. I think Raichur.
Okay.
He's also working as a site engineer in Power Mech Limited as a
Okay.
site engineer in thermal power projects. I
Okay.
asked him, they're not using even his company also using this SAP only.
I know
And
Power Mac, right? What happened?
yeah, and recently I spoke with one admin. He's working as admin in Shapoji Palanji in Hyderabad.
Yeah.
My searching has started from there only
Okay.
regarding this SAP for the first time.
Okay.
And he is the person giving me the information regarding this SAP. And the
Okay.
persons who are working Shapoji Palanji,
Hmm.
somebody went to the SAP authorized institute for the coaching of this planning and
Okay.
quantity surveying. Then
Okay.
after I knew about this clearly. Then how has the government has implementing this SAP?
Hmm.
Okay, sir,
So
finally got some information. I have a very satisfactory on today regarding this project
okay.
system. First class on
So there
today.
is nothing which
And
is like serving. Serving is one of the exercises, right? At the end of the day, you are going to record certain results,
yeah,
isn't it?
that's all. Yeah.
That's one of the activities. But for doing that,
Okay.
then after, there are certain activities which needs to be done before and after. And why we are doing surveying? We are doing surveying for certain part of construction, which is a bigger plan,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that the complete process cycle is mapped.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. So on what I can say is, is like probably from this you would have understood is like what we are doing is we are seeing a bit of it. Now when we talk about SAP is a software which caters to all the projects worldwide. Now when I'm saying
Yeah.
this, so the screen that you're seeing here is the same screen which the Americans would be seeing in America or the Chinese would be seeing in China. You got that?
Mm.
So why
Yes, sir, got it.
SAP and particularly people from the Indian part, southern states are so successful is
Mm.
because we come to a common platform. Okay, common platform. When I'm saying this, what I mean is there are technological differences in the organizations, country to country. What America has been doing in the
Mm.
structures, the steel, whatever is different. But when the software field comes, we are at the same level.
Mm. Okay.
So that's the reason
Hello.
when a person shifts to
Mm.
software, he has the opportunity to go abroad or to explore more. The doors opens up much faster.
Mm. Okay.
That's a simple logic.
Okay, sir. So can you suggest me anything regarding this?
Yeah.
Can you suggest me
Yes.
anything these?
Suggesting is like I can suggest you is to go for project systems, and you need
Mm.
to have a long-term view because in your current organization itself, suppose if you're moving to Shafford, Palantir and all those, or whatever the companies,
Mm.
Powermac, all companies, project companies, they are having SAP PS. Now they are
Okay.
doing at only certain part of it. They may just doing is they may be doing only costing part, or they may be using it for budgeting, but they are not doing
Mm.
any project tracking, or they are not using it for Gantt chart. So because what is
Yeah.
happening is Indian atmosphere, they are not very keen. They are not tracking at that level. But if you go to
Yeah.
other countries, they are tracking at all minor levels. See, when we talk about project, you have got one thing is, what are the three different aspects, important aspects of a project? You've got cost, scope, and time.
Yeah.
That is
These
duration,
are the main
right?
top. Yeah.
Correct? These are the three main things. If the
So that
scope increases,
is
cost and duration will increase. If the cost
yeah.
increases, cost is dependent on the scope as well as on the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are the three aspects that we track in the project. So cost
Mm.
is tracked in the project systems, time is tracked, but some organizations only want to track the cost. They may not be interested in tracking the time.
Mm.
Not in SAP at least. They may do it in MS project and integrate with SAP.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Venu, I think,
Uh,
yeah, Venu. Nice talking to you, Venu.
Today,
If you have any
very
questions,
nice
we'll
talking to you,
continue.
sir.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Venu.
After a long time, after 2 years back, I listened the class. It's like my family social class. I'm very happy to listen it.
Venu, glad to hear that, Venu. Okay. Venu, go ahead and don't
Thank
have
you
a
for
long
the
term.
class like this.
Okay, Venu, right.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Venu. You can get back to Giri. Hmm?
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thanks.
sir.
Thanks. Thanks, Vinu.
Thank you, sir.